me get this working. It is. It is getting its act together real quick. Give me 1 second. I just got on. I'm only streaming to YouTube tonight because there's some issues with OBS and me streaming to TikTok, which is annoying, but you know, I'll make it work. Let's see if I can set this up correctly. Without it getting all jacked up. That'll have to do. We'll go like this. That'll have to work for now. All right, we'll get started in 1 second here. We will get started in 1 second here. I know it is. OBS had the streaming software I used had this. Let me turn the music down a little bit. The streaming software I use, you guys know I'm always having issues with this streaming software. But it's like the best streaming software out there, but it's just buggy. Like it gives me the highest quality and everything. But it's getting to the point where it's just driving me crazy every day. But they had a big update, and I was like, oh, maybe this will fix all the bugs. There was a bunch of bug fixes in the update. So I downloaded the update. That's going to be an issue. So I downloaded the update, and then suddenly there was no vertical source. And I was like, okay. Then it's like, oh, because you updated it, you have to now update all your plugins. So I had to update my vertical plugin. And I'm like, okay, let me try to stream again. So then I try to virtual cam my vertical plugin. Every time I try to virtual cam my vertical plugin, meaning send a vertical shot so I can stream it on TikTok, it crashes OBS. So don't you love it? 10-minute OBS update just for there to be more bugs than there were before. Exactly. Yeah, we just took 1 step forward with OBS and 8 steps backwards. Fix 1 bug and introduce 15 others. Correct. That's exactly what happened. It actually got worse. Now there's multiple buttons. If I hit it in my software, it crashes it. I'm like, what the heck? And guys, you know this. It's OBS. That's the only software. I have a lot of software on my computer. OBS is the only software I ever have issues with. I mean, not true, but it's the majority of issues. 90% of my issues with OBS. All right. Anyways, hi. I'm also streaming on TikTok on my phone right here. But if we're talking about the severe weather tonight, we're talking about what's going on with our cold weather moving in October, and we're talking about the latest tropical updates. We have a 70%. We have about a 50% chance that we're going to have 2 new tropical cyclones off the southeastern coast of the U.S. within the next 48 hours. That's crazy. We could have 3 tropical cyclones in the Atlantic within the next 48 hours. One that we're concerned may try to make a landfall, so we're talking about that. You guys can go find me on YT, you know, that thing with the play button. I can't really say it on here. But, okay, I'll say it. I'm streaming on YouTube. Just go find me on there. Connor's Climate Corner. Connor's Climate Corner. That's where I'm going to be. So I'm streaming over there, and we're going to be talking about this stuff. Yeah, you know, I was super busy today, but I kept watching, even though I couldn't get on stream earlier. And someone correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there were many tornadoes today. I kept pulling up radars, and I was like, there's tons of severe thunderstorm warnings. I mean, how many tornado warnings did we have today? Didn't seem like many. So I would say underperformance, right? To anyone who was paying attention all day, I had such a busy day. I had to go to the DMV today. No one likes that. Live chat. Let's see here. Let me actually open up my one after all the big streamers got off. Yeah. Yep. I was actually considering, I had a little bit of time, and I was like, I could go to the gym or hop on, but I haven't seen one tornado warning down all day, and then I made the decision, maybe I should go to the gym, because I haven't been in a very long time. So, executive decision. If I'm not too nervous, you should be much more nervous if you see me on. No, I'm just kidding. I try to stream as many events as I can. Yeah, guys, I'm over on YouTube with Connor's Climate Corner talking about the severe weather that's going on right now. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning still down here in southeastern Oklahoma. 60-mile-per-hour winds radar indicate it. Inch hail radar indicate it. But there is still a 50% tornado watch region in here. I don't think we're going to get a spin up in here, though, if I'm being honest. McAllister out towards Wilburton, up towards Salisaw, Fort Smith, down to Porto. Oklahoma, still in a tornado watch. Now, here's what I'm concerned about, and I'm about to show you guys this. Here is what I am concerned about. Let's open up Pivotal. We need to talk about what our European ensembles are doing. We have so many members throwing a hurricane into the coast of the U.S. Now that we need to just discuss it a tiny bit. Let me get this screen showing for you. I'm over on YouTube, by the way, guys, if you're on there. If you're on TikTok. Yeah, thank you, guys. Yeah, you can just post it. Yeah. Let's see, because I'm having issues streaming onto TikTok right now. It's a software issue. Usually you can see my entire screen, everything I'm looking at on TikTok, but there's a little bit of a software bug right now. So tonight, I'm just over on YouTube. Let's see. I need to show you guys my screen, what I'm looking at. Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay. First off, here's the latest from Google DeepMind. Holy crap. Have these really started to show up? Lots of potential landfalls from Florida all the way up through New England. That's the Gen C. We can go to the FNV3 18Z stop. And wow, that's a little bit more. Do you see this? That is concerning. That is very concerning. Now, the one thing that is going to help us is this low pressure system that's currently moving from west to east across the states. That's causing our severe weather right now in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and then Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana tomorrow, and then Alabama, Georgia, the Carolinas, and the Mid-Atlantic on Thursday. That system is going to interfere with this hurricane trying to make landfall on the East Coast. And if it interferes quick enough, it'll tear it to pieces before this thing moves in strong. If it doesn't get out there to the east quick enough, we may have an issue. Then we could get a strong landfalling hurricane somewhere along the East Coast. Here's our latest ensembles. We'll even show you the 18Z. I'll even show you the 18Z. If anyone is gifted, I really appreciate you. I'm going to have to go back and look at it because I can't see it the way I have this currently set up. But I appreciate you guys. And I appreciate any follows. So yeah, here's the latest European ensemble. Take a look at what happens here. All right, we're only talking, this is 90 hours out. Look at all these members down here. All right, we're talking 3 to 4 days out. Here we go. Check this out. 5 days out, we have a cluster of European members. We're talking 10 taking this thing into Florida potentially, into the Carolinas, maybe up into the Mid-Atlantic. But we do have, well, actually, if I'm being honest, all of our members now are taking this thing close to the states. This is our second disturbance out here that stays out to the coast. These are two different disturbances. This isn't one. You can see when they originate right here. You see how these are two separate disturbances out here. So we have almost all of our European models taking this thing very, very close, if not into the coast of the U.S. right now, which makes me interested to take a look at our latest GFS, Western Atlantic. Wow. Oh my, this is a very interesting GFS run. you get kind of like the Fujiwara effect. Look at these storms forming right next to each other. Now, here's my issue, though, with this. I don't know that this one out farther west doesn't shear the one to the east and destroy it. But listen, sometimes you get two tropical cyclones slamming into each other or forming next to each other, and one swallows up the other and becomes bigger. And sometimes they shear each other apart. But there you go. This thing has these things becoming a bigger tropical system and potentially getting closer to the coast. Let's look at our 12Z GFS today. Does it see that same? Oh my God, it does. It shows both of these areas combining into one bigger storm. That's very interesting. And then it shows potential system in the Gulf out there. Very interesting. Let's take a look at our Euro here. Our Euro deterministic. Oh, ever saw thunderstorm warnings? Yeah. Yeah, talk about underperformance 2 days in a row. Yeah, the European, look at this. Look at the European model. Oh my gosh. The European model has like a Cat 1 and a Cat 3 hurricane right next to each other off the coast of Florida. Holy crap. Let me tell you something. I like the GFS when it comes to 5 days plus. It can see the potential for something farther out, but I like the Euro if we're talking 72 to 120 hours in the tropics. So, but again, I don't know that this storm out west wouldn't be sending tons of shear into our storm out east. I don't understand why the models aren't picking up on that. So, but wow, that is quite the Euro run. And look at our 12Z. It has the same thing, but look, right here as this begins to approach the coast, we get this trough, pushing it back out to the east. There's a couple different outcomes here. If these slow down, our disturbances slow down and let our trough, our low pressure system move off into the east above them. Thanks, Yali. If these don't move quick enough and this trough moves out, these are going to have some space. And they could, I mean, who knows? But right now it looks like it's the timing. Just like it always is with the tropics. How quickly does our low pressure system get off the coast and how quickly do these move to the north? If they time each other perfectly and they hit each other, this storm's going to get sheared right before it gets to land and it's going to move off. There's going to be no impacts, really minor impacts to land. If this storm moves too slow, we'll probably have an impact. If this storm moves too fast, we'll probably have an impact. We kind of want the timing that we're seeing right now. But again, you can see a lot of our members throwing this thing into the States. Very interesting. A lot of these like North Carolina, South Carolina landfall. You have a couple members sending a couple big storms into, wow, what the heck is that? Big storm into Florida, but that's farther out, so we're not going to pay too much attention to that. Let me see if I can find this on the GEFS ensemble. What's our, here we go. Okay. Here's our GEFS ensemble. GEFS does still have some members, so putting a hurricane into the coast, East Coast, Carolinas, Mid-Atlantic. Not as bullish as the Euro is, but look at the end of the GFS. Look at all of these systems it thinks could be coming out of the Caribbean and Gulf as we get into early October. This would be a lot of tropical activity we haven't seen this year. So tons to watch here, obviously. This is just a crazy look to me, the FNV3 Google DeepMind model right here. Yeah. Yeah. Actually pretty crazy. What I have right here, guys, on the left side of my screen, for people who are over on YouTube, what I have on the left side of my screen, that's our tropical system that's trying to develop right now. This is the one that would be, actually, no, this would be our bigger threat one right here off to the west of it. We were watching, here, I'll show you here. I'll get over to satellite. Give me a second. This right here is the one. Matt, I appreciate the $5 super chat. Love you. Yo, you can be my man's anytime. I don't care. We'll go behind my wife's back. Thanks for the super chat. This is the one that the disturbance that could get a little bit closer. This is our second one out here. We have an 80 and 90% chance of cyclone formation in the next 7 days, and these also have they both have about a 50% chance of cyclone formation over the next 2 days. I did want to point out, guys, and Matt's the one who actually showed me he had shown me it before, but reminded me about weathernerds.org. Let's watch this one out here. Let's go back here. Matt, have you checked out the latest with our Google DeepMind models? Look at this. You've got consensus on here too. Listen, we're about to see if we're going to transition from looking at the GFS and Euro a lot to looking at the FNV3 and GenCast Google DeepMind AI models. Because if this ends up being correct, I'm going to look at this and say, wow, look at the agreement that it had so far out. Because that's tight agreement. I mean, shoot, if the Weather Channel had that, they'd have a super tight cone on this far out, which never happens. They'd have a super tight cone on it like this. Cone of uncertainty. So that's crazy. Now going back to the GenCast, I believe that's what the Gen C is, right? Not as tight, but you still have a good amount of members right in here with this system. So yeah, Matt, I was also talking about some really interesting trends happening right now with the European ensemble. I don't know if you've been looking at this. I don't know if this is crazy. I don't know if you've been looking at this. Check out our Euro ensembles right now. With our farther west storm. With this one right here. Watch this. They're kind of seeing this is kind of what it's kind of what our AI model's seeing as well. Some pretty tight consensus towards the coast. Yeah, has these waves 7 days ago, so it's been doing good. You know, and I know you've seen this, but here's going to be the difference maker. Matt, tell me if you disagree. Here's going to be the difference maker. Let's look at our... give me a second. Why am I lost? Well, okay. Let me go to, European deterministic. Why am I lost here? Give me a second. I don't want 850. I mean, I want 850. Go to 12Z. All right, here, let me go into the GFS. Am I crazy? Where's my 850 jet? $850 temperature. Don't really need that. I mean, this is fine. Heights of vorticity. Here's our trough up here to the north. Here's our low pressure down here, causing all of our severe weather down to the south. The timing of these is going to be pretty important, how quickly this gets out of here, because there are some models that have, especially the 18Z European deterministic, that has these colliding, this storm getting shredded to pieces and getting thrown out into the Atlantic. I think worst case scenario, this bad boy down here slows down and lets all of this troughing and all of this shear pass off to the east, because then it's going right into the coast. I think we want this thing to kind of keep up a good pace once it forms. There's something that we might be forming east of Durant. Let's see. What, severe wise? Yeah, I can see that. There's a little there's a couplet trying to form out there. Some high velocity winds potentially. Right in here. Yep, did they literally just put down that severe thunderstorm warning as we were talking about that? I think they did. Yep. Good call. Strong winds in here. Strong winds in here. We could get rotation out of this as well. So pay attention here if you're in Boswell, Supper, Hugo. This is southeastern Oklahoma. This storm is moving off to the east at around 20 miles per hour, and it could be tornadic. So let's keep an eye on that. Boswell, Hugo. I don't see a tornado down right now, but strong winds, and you can see we've got a little bit of rotational shear in here, so we could get something to spin up there. Icon coming in right now shows here. Let me look at that. Actually, let me give me 1 second. Oh, you know why it's not showing me what I'm trying to look for? It's because I need to move into here, continental. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. Oh, Lord. There it is. This is what I was looking for. Here we go. Here's our storm down here to the south. Here's this. Here's what's given us our severe weather issue kind of beginning to move out. Oh, this is actually going to be. Yep, you still have this low pressure system right here, spinning off down in the southeast, and that could potentially. And this is actually the latest Euro. Am I on the 18Z right now? Yeah, I'm on the 18Z. Matt, this would just be crazy. This would just be insane. I don't think. What's going on, Tufts? And I'm talking to all the chat. I don't see this happening though, because I see our western cyclone shearing away our eastern cyclone. I don't know. Sometimes they feed them and sometimes they break them apart, but I feel like that would be an issue. I kind of like what the GFS is doing in having them kind of go through that, kind of combining into a bigger but weaker system. There's a lot of question marks with this. Two cyclones right next to each other like this is crazy for models to predict. Yeah, call me. Well, can you hop on my TikTok stream? Request an invite to it. We 100% could see like a Fujiwara effect here. I don't see why we couldn't. Actually, I should be able to call you. I'll probably just pause it. Yeah. Let me actually push off regions. Let's go to the east. Look at that. That is just crazy. That is crazy, chat. It's the latest Euro. Can I stay out east here? That's the latest Euro ensembles. We'll see. Here, Matt, I'll try to call you.
I was going to request it on TikTok so you didn't have to pause your stream.
No, you're good. You're good. What's going on?
Yeah, so on the 18Z there, I actually, I'm not going to lie, this is crazy. I actually legit think it's onto something in terms of the trends with the deep AI because, like I said, I've noticed too, if you look at the last couple of runs with all of the runs, the GFS, the Euro, the deep AI, all of that,
Yeah.
it's been trending with taking that trough out a lot quicker in general and kind of leaving behind those two waves because of how much longer they're taking to develop. Because originally, when we were looking at these two waves at the beginning of this week, or beginning of this past weekend, we ended up seeing, they were going to be already making landfall by this Thursday, this Friday. Now it's pushed back to like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of next week.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like I said, if we're going to continue to see that trend, because the only thing that's not showing in, any really significant landfall is the GFS or the ensembles. Everything else has most of the ensembles showing that 94L making a landfall.
Yeah, we're talking both of these Google AI models. We're talking almost every single Euro ensemble. You have a few of the GFS ensembles. I haven't looked at the latest. I haven't looked at the latest icon, and I want to look at that really quickly.
It's weird.
What do you think? What do you think about? I think the slower this thing goes, the greater chance it does have to strengthen and move into the coast, because there's a lot of shear up to the north right now and moving into the southeast currently.
So
That's going to move out.
The icon that's coming in right now has a 958 millibar with underneath the ridge, and the trough is already gone by the Monday, and it has our tropical depression is sitting over the Bahamas by next Monday.
Oh, wow. Yeah, see, this is almost worst case scenario right now on the icon. You can kind of see the subtropical jet kind of beginning to move out with the high pressure behind it. Yeah, this would be a pretty bad situation there. You could even have something potentially, if it moves slow enough, move into the Gulf there as well.
I almost wonder too if the GFS is overdoing on the intensity of the trough itself, especially like with today. I mean, it's
Well, because and yesterday,
yeah,
I agree.
yeah. I don't like saying that. I've just been telling people on stream and stuff. If you're from Florida all the way to Rhode Island, like just be packing ready, not packing, but just have those planes ready to go. Like you're gonna get something because I was talking actually to another Met friend earlier this afternoon, and the margin for error with this type of a setup, we haven't really experienced anything like this. We've not really seen two storms really side by side this close to each other. At least in my lifetime of forecasting weather, I've not seen this.
Yeah.
So there's so many different scenarios. If we didn't have a cutoff flow or we just had a ridge, we would
I don't.
have those in these storms.
Yeah, like models aren't built for two potential major hurricanes to be moving right up the coast next to each other like this. I can't remember I can't remember that exact setup ever, and I've been studying hurricanes my whole life.
I think the margin for error with this is so high that we could literally get to the day of a landfall or non-landfall, and then something change, and then we have two storms or one storm making a landfall when it wasn't expected. That's what I'm
Literally. Well, and you know what can happen too is our system out to the west could actually help to pull our system out to the east towards it as well.
correct as well. Yeah,
Because
there is like a million scenarios.
yeah, because it's kind of what happens when you have hurricanes move inland, and then that's what happened with Helene. Helene moved into land, and then there was a big low pressure system sitting over Missouri, and it pulled it back over the Apps and Tennessee. So I wonder what happens with that storm off to the east. Is it influence if our storm strengthens enough, the western storm, does that pull it towards the shore too? There's a million outcomes here.
Let me ask you this question: when do you think we're going to get both of these systems to develop? I know they're both red now.
That's possible, Sleeveless.
Probably be developed by tomorrow, I think, and then our southern one, I'm thinking by maybe Thursday night, Friday morning.
You're thinking we have our closer one developed first? Is that what you're saying?
The further one will go first, I think, because it's got a 70 chance in the next
Oh,
few
yeah.
days. Our southern one.
Oh yeah, I think we have a depression in 24 hours on the further one, and I think we're actually honestly probably out at least 72 hours on the closer one at a minimum. I think that's good. It's pretty dry right now. Oh, you know what I do want to? If you're looking at my stream, let me actually pull this up and let's take a look at what's going on. Confused Blonde said, "Hey, what's up, Matt? Here's our dry air." None, really. I mean, you have a little bit of issue here, but this is going to be moving up. This, we'll see if it stays stationary, but really, clear skies ahead, dry air-wise.
And Gabrielle's gone, so there's not going to be any shear influence after tonight from anything.
Exactly. Well, I mean, look at the paths of these right now. I mean, you've got this one developing here. This is shear that's happening between the systems right now.
Correct. You got outflow coming from
Exactly. So this is kind of the system's generating their own shear, but this is some pretty healthy, moist and clean air out ahead of it right now. So,
let me ask you this too. Do you think rapid intensification is a factor here?
I know because like none of them are showing that, but you can't help but wonder because our water temperatures are so warm out here. Let me actually pull it up. That's a good question.
Because I saw something too. Depending on how north that trough is, we could actually see the outflow kind of be used as a vacuum and see rapid intensification with either one. That was something I saw as well. I was looking at that earlier.
Yeah, I mean these waters are 2 to 3 degrees Celsius above average in here.
Correct.
So with very little dry air and potentially very little shear here, I don't know why rapid intensification wouldn't be a thing. These islands aren't big enough to affect it. Yeah. I'd say there's a 20-30% that one of these undergoes rapid intensification. I'm talking about 24 to 48 hours. Once it starts to develop, we see a major hurricane, Cat 4 plus. We'll see.
I think the icon, whenever you get a chance to look at it tonight, it's just about done running. It's an outlier, I think, tonight. It has a 944 well out to the east, the northern one going out to the east, and it has the one over the Bahamas just stalling through next Wednesday. Like it's not moving. It almost moves backwards.
Yeah, let me go back out there. Look, tropical southwestern Atlanta. I don't want southwestern Atlanta.
This is a head scratcher, dude. This is gonna annoy me.
it's gonna be it's gonna be a learning lesson because this is such a weird look. We got to take notes with this one.
We wanted something to talk about. We got it.
Oh my god, yeah, the icon, man, the icon. See, I don't know why neither of these. So there's two options with these storms next to each other. There's situations where I've seen storms close enough where you have one causing too much shear out, you know, that could shear off the one out to the east. But depending on their strength and depending on their distance, you could just get moisture wrapped up in our system out to the east.
That is true as well.
Dude, I can't remember in my entire life if I've seen two storms ride up like this, side by side. I don't know.
I wonder too if we're gonna have two cones overlapping each other because of how close the proximity they're gonna be.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun to look at on Radar Omega when this update.
I know. Holy crap.
Right, I'll let you get back to your stream. I wanted to pick your brain for a minute, dude, because I've done nothing but stare about this all day today, and it's driving me crazy.
Yeah, dude. No, I appreciate the conversation. We'll be talking about this a lot over the next few days.
All right, sounds good, bud.
All right, see you. Yeah, sorry guys. Did it just officially end? It just officially ended. All right, well, we're on here for now. Well, sometimes I like when you guys hear me having the conversation with Matt because he also brings up a lot of things that I don't think of. I wasn't looking at the icon there, but wow, the options are just like endless in here. What's our? I don't care about our Canadian ensemble that much. Canadian doesn't know what goes on with these. I mean, our Canadian ensemble has quite the interesting look as well. I mean, our Canadian ensemble sees potentially has 3 different members moving in, one up here to the coast, one here into the coast, one into Florida. So again, we have all of our ensembles throwing things into the States here. And then look at our Canadian. Our Canadian agrees with the GFS as well as we get into October. Tons of activity in the Gulf. Listen, I've never wanted to be wrong so much in my life. I repeatedly said end of September, early October. If some of this stuff starts to confirm, who knows? You know, we could end up with 0 landfalls in the next 3 weeks. Or we could end up with like 4 landfalling systems in the next 3 weeks, how this is looking. But these models are really liking the Western Atlantic. No surprise. That subtropical jet is letting up because we're getting those, the equatorial Pacific waters are getting so cold. That's what we expected to happen. It was not a matter of if, it was a matter of when. I think the models are picking up on that now. I mean, geez, look at the Euro. Look at the Euro ensembles down here. Crazy. This, to me, might be the most impressive thing right here. All of the model agreement, how tight it is in here. This might be one of the craziest things I've seen all night. Let me zoom in. This might be one of the craziest things I've seen all night. To have a model agreement this good, it makes me want to believe it, but it's such a new model. I mean, we don't really know. Yes, when the meeting of weather nerds happen, a lot can be learned from each other. True. How's Kansas City looking? Sure, I'll get back to that. They just extended the tornado watch. They did just extend the tornado watch. Kansas City. You guys looking good up there. Kansas City's looking fine. Some light showers maybe, but you guys looking good. We are watching. Did they not extend this, or is this lagging? We are watching the system down here for, possible rotation. It looks like that's kind of fallen off. We're looking pretty good down here, just some general thunderstorms. That storm weakened quite a bit down here. Boswell moving out towards Hugo. No other severe thunderstorm warnings out here to the east, but I believe they did. Where'd my tornado warning go? Weatherwise is lagging a little bit, but they did extend that tornado watch out here to the east. Did you guys see my tornado watch disappear? Unless they just took it out. Chance of first frost in central New Jersey. Yeah, we can look at some updates on that. We had so many signals pointing towards a good cold air trough moving in October 2nd, October 3rd, and it's kind of gone haywire. We're not getting the blocking over the either Greenland or Alaska to make that happen potentially. All right, 1 second, guys. Let me pull up Weather Bell 12Z temp anomaly. That rhymed. Okay. I mean, you've got some cooler temperatures being projected October 2nd, October 3rd, but that's because this would be our cyclone off the coast, and you'd have a low pressure troughing out here. So, but look at this beginning of October. Look at this heat. Our models have said, nope. We're not going to get blocking out here. We're not going to get blocking out here. We're going to keep you in a somewhat of a omega block heat wave. This would be the absolute worst. I'm just gonna be honest. This would be the absolute worst for many of us. Let's look at the GFS 18Z. I mean, the 18Z GFS sees that big cold air trough moving in October 8th, October 9th. Still has it, but it's pushed it back a week. This would be crazy severe weather event, by the way. Fall severe weather event if that were to actually happen. But the watch expired. Okay. Yeah, there's some models that bring they're bringing ashore near Wilmington. Man, I really love forecasting snow, but hurricane season is like the bread and butter. Like I said, I'm never rooting for a major hurricane or tropical system to make landfall and do any damage, but this is a scenario that I'm just super interested to see how it plays out, because what these models are showing is just crazy. It's really crazy stuff. Let me see here. Let's see how much. Oh, that's the. Oh, here we go. 00Z, the icon. Is it fully loaded through? Yeah, it doesn't know what to do with it. It's stalling out here. I don't think we'd have a stalled storm here. It does take this one up here and turn it into a Cat 5. I mean, 928 millibars, that'd be a Cat 5, but I'm not sure the icon. I'm concerned with this storm down here. So there's the latest icon. We know what's happening with the Euro 18Z. The Euro 18Z actually stalls this storm out right down here as well. That could be a flooding issue for the Bahamas. The Euro 18Z stalls it out in the same exact spot as the icon, and that's only 96 hours out. I could see that happening. And then it moves up the coast, and potentially it sees it. Yeah, I mean, this would potentially be a Cat 2. Potentially major hurricane right next to each other. I think this one would curve off because you've got a nice high pressure out here, but not for sure. Canadian. The Canadian, Euro, and the Canadian, Euro, and icon are very similar up to this point. They think we're going to have twins. They don't know what to do past here, though. Ensembles aren't pushing them out to sea, but the deterministics are. You need to know how October 17th to 27th looks. That's almost a month out. I wish I could tell you that. I wish. We'd expect it to be a little bit cooler, especially with our trough timing being pushed back potentially a week. But, Precipitation forecast wise, severe wise, that's hard to tell. All right, well, I'll probably hop off. It took me so long to get on. I'll try to figure out my OBS stuff, guys, by tomorrow. What are we taking from this? Well, East Coast needs to pay attention. We could have a landfall here within the next week, within the next 7 days, or maybe not. But our ensembles, our AI models are all pointing towards it. There's a couple of things that could happen. Obviously, we could get some nice. Our low pressure here could really shear this and push it off to the east. It's all about the speed at which this storm moves up to the north. I think a slower storm would give it some more time to strengthen, move in. Faster storm, it'd probably potentially actually make landfall, but it would be much. It would be very weak. So we got to watch the speed of the system, how quickly it develops down there in the south. There are models that do take this system out here into the coast. We just don't have a ton of agreement on that yet. So we still should be watching this one out to the east as well. Severe weather tomorrow. Let's go to our day 2. We're probably going to get a slight in here. I'll probably get a slight in here somewhere. I'm not going to... maybe actually down here. We'll see. And then going into day 3, again, East Coast. Watch out there. We'll probably get a slight out there as well. I don't even want to show you guys the CPC outlook for heat. Hot, hotter, hottest, right? Precipitation-wise, next 6 to 10 days, it's going to start to dry up across some of these areas that have gotten some severe weather. Plains up towards the Midwest. 8 to 14 days, most of the country's looking pretty normal, except for New England's going to dry up a little bit. All right, guys. Go to bed. Tomorrow's a big day. It's hump day. Big day. You got to get rested for it. I appreciate all you. Appreciate your mods. And, yeah, I should have a ticket to talk figured out by tomorrow so I can get back on a stream there. But if anyone is in this stream right now that's not subbed and you sub, you'll see something funny pop up on the stream. So if anyone wants to hit that sub button and see it, you can go ahead. Fine. All right. Have a good night, guys. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be posting a video early in the morning. Who knows? We could have tropical depression. Could have a tropical storm in the morning. This one out to the east is somewhat organized. Somewhat organized. Or organizing, I should say. Lots of convection, clear spin. So, could see that.